Welcome back to our exploration of Fort Union. This is our final video, and we're going to start with teepees. I'm going to give you a QR code real fast, and you can click on this to learn about teepee assembly. Teepees were homes for many of the Northern Plain tribes who traded at Fort Union. Traditionally owned by the women who made them, a 16-foot lodge could easily and comfortably accommodate a family of 4 to 8 people. Teepees were created to be easily assembled and deassembled on the go. Skin hides were often used to cover teepees, and women were responsible for putting them up and taking them down. As we head back outside, this long building space included space for a retail store for employees, a storage room for trade goods, a meat storeroom, and a fur press room. In the back against the wall were additional small sheds that were temporary structures for many uses. Next to the small sheds were animal pens. Pens like these held dairy cows, pigs, chickens, and goats that provided fresh meat, milk, and eggs for fort employees and their families. Faster horses for hunting were also penned here. It's very possible that these pens made the area smell like a barnyard. Speaking of barnyard, as we head over to where the kitchen was, we see a bunny. Up to 3 cooks prepared meals for the employees of the post. Food at the high table exclusively for the bourgeois, clerks, and skilled laborers was exceptional. They enjoyed a good selection of fresh meat, dairy items that included butter and cream, and imported preserved fruit and canned vegetables. With the finest wines available on the Upper Missouri, life at the fort was almost luxurious for these employees. It took roughly 500 buffaloes to feed the employees each year. The small building that once stood here was one of several structures located under the gallery behind the bourgeois house, and it provided storage for milk and dairy products. Extensive archaeological excavation has taken place in this area. The National Park Service has reconstructed portions of the fort as it appeared in 1851. It is reconstructed only to the level supported by historical and archaeological data. While the location of 2 bourgeois house second-floor windows are known, the remaining window frames suggest a typical mirroring of the front facade. Did you know that a powder magazine is a stone building that housed the fort supply of gunpowder? The stone walls were 4 to 6 feet thick and capable of containing 50,000 pounds of powder for trade, hunting, and firing the greeting shots from the cannon. The American flag was an important symbol at Fort Union. The large flag on the 63-foot flagpole can be seen from a distance by those approaching by river and by land. The fish on top is thought to be a symbol of trade. On July 4th, 1851, the official U.S. flag had a star added to make it a 31-star flag. As we take a last look within the fort, try to imagine life here. The sounds of many different languages from the blacksmith, carpenters, employees, visitors, and Indians. Imagine the different smells coming from different areas of the fort. Near the kitchen, you may smell delicious baked food, and near the animals, more like a barnyard. As horses mingle with cattle, perhaps the sound of children running around the courtyard, the sounds of negotiating trades. You can almost see the fort coming to life. As I focus here on the dwelling range, it is a little surreal to think that just 150 years ago, employees and their families slept right here. Perhaps they looked up at the stars at night. Perhaps they thought about the future. But as I stand here, I can almost see back in time. It's a quiet evening on the prairie. The evening has just settled in. Families tuck their little ones in for the evening. The laborers are kicking off their muddy boots with the thought of work on their mind for the next day. And as I stand here looking at almost empty spaces, witnessing what was. Now that we are on the north side of the fort, we'll notice more teepees as well as the north gate. The north gate was the back gate of the post, and it allowed access from the open prairie. It contained a smaller man or pass gate. Most residents and visitors would use the main gate. In 1966, Congress designated Fort Union Trading Post a National Historic Site to commemorate its rich history and significant role as a fur trading post on the Missouri River. Let's head a little closer to the prairie lands. You could still hear the sounds coming from within the courtyard, but they are slightly muffled by the thick walls. Overland travelers usually departed from the back gate. This was the takeoff point to the wilderness, trails, and gold fields beyond. The vast prairie lay before them. In the summer, Indian encampments could be seen nearby. Teepees scattered the landscape and smoke curled from cooking fires. Years after Fort Union ceased operations, the prairie gave way to railroads, hayfields, and farming. Today, the native grasses have been restored through a restoration program. Let's take a moment to take that all in. This is the bell tower. The bell was rung daily to open the gate, announce meal times, and close the gate at sundown. Thank you for watching, and please follow me to receive updates on upcoming adventures.